sometimes a show comes out that's just sort of unique in a way and just different from every other show in a season. And this season it's Flowers of Evil. Like the art direction in this show is just fucking insane. Basically, the way they animated the show, they used something called rotoscoping, which is where actors will act out the show, and then they'll animate it over the real life action. So Flowers of Evil, episode 1. Not a lot actually happened in this episode, to be honest. I don't know what. Not a lot actually happened. Basically, it was just introducing characters. Who one of them's named Kasuga or something, and there's some others that I can't remember the name of. This Psyche or something, some girl who this Kasuga guy fancies, obviously, because that's always happens. And basically, it's very hard to describe this episode because not a lot happens. Basically, they're just going around school and things, and they do an exam, and it's just kind of like, I was just sitting there watching it, thinking, when is this show actually going to get going? You know. But the feel of the show was very sort of suspense. You did want to know like what was happening. And basically, they're in the middle of this. Well, they do this exam, and after the exam, this Kasuga guy goes to the bookshop, and he finds this book called The Flowers of Evil, which is a real book by a guy called Charles Baudelaire, who wrote a book called The Flowers of Evil. And this guy's reading it, and that's pretty much it. I mean, you don't have a clue what the book's about. You just know that he's reading it. So anyway, the next day they get their exam results back, and this girl called Nakamura. I'm actually reading it off here because I only saw the episode about an hour ago, so it's a bit kind of like, you know, trying to remember the names after only one episode is a bit difficult. Anyway, this girl called Nakamura goes up to collect her exam results, and you have to respond. Like when the teacher calls your name, you say yes, and then you go and get the results. So she didn't say anything, and the teacher was like, "You've got to respond." And so yeah, basically she didn't respond, and the teacher's like, "Oh, you're supposed to respond." And she says, "Oh, thank you." And then she gets kind of like humiliated by the teacher because he goes, Nakamura's got the lowest score of the whole class. She got 0. She didn't fill any of the answers in. And then Nakamura calls the teacher, I think it's a shit face. The teacher's like, "Why'd you call me a shit face?" And he goes to hit her, and then the face that she's got is just like, "If you touch me, I will fucking fuck you up," you know. And it was just really weird. And on the way back home, Kasuga and his sort of group of friends are talking about it, and he accidentally lets slip that he sort of fancies this Psyche girl. I think I'm saying it right. It's Saeki. Saeki. I don't know how you'd say that. Psyche or something. I don't know, but that's what I think it is anyway. He lets slip that he fancies this girl, Psyche, and then he realizes he's forgot his book, The Flowers of Evil. So he goes back to the school, finds it, but then also finds that Psyche's left her gym bag. And then that's where the episode ends, while he's looking at this gym bag. And it was an okay episode. It was an okay episode for an episode where nothing really happens. It's very hard to describe, but the way the episode was, it does make you actually want to watch the next one. Now, the next one is on tonight on Crunchyroll at 5:30 p.m. UK time, because I use the UK Crunchyroll site, because I am in the UK. So 5:30 p.m. tonight, the second episode's on, and I'm sure the second episode is where shit is going to kick off. Because I've read the plot of the manga, and I know pretty much what the show's about. And I can guarantee that in this second episode, shit will kick off. This episode probably gets a 5 or 6 out of 10. The reason it gets 5 or 6 out of 10 is because not a lot really happens. But I'm sure that tonight's episode is where shit is going to kick off. It's on at 5:30 p.m. So that means that later on today will be the review of episode 2 of Flowers of Evil. It's going to be good. So yeah, episode 1 was good. Not a lot happened. 5 out of 10. I'm really interested to see what's going to happen in this fucking show. I'm telling you right now. It's a sort of psychological... I wouldn't say it's a horror. I wouldn't say it's a horror. It's a psychological... Definitely psychological program. I'd say thriller, probably. Well, there's no thriller aspect that's actually happened yet. I'll just say it's psychological for the time being. It's a psychological mindfuck program. And I can tell, I guarantee now that the second episode tonight is where shit is going to kick off. So look out for my review later on today of Flowers of Evil, episode 2.